Welcome back to Philosophy Matters. This is your Professor Joe. In this chapter, we turn to one of the most enduring questions in all of philosophy. What is really real? And how Plato and Aristotle answered this question. This is the very heart of metaphysics, the branch of philosophy that constructs and criticizes theories about the nature of ultimate reality. And to explore it, we turn to two of the greatest minds in Western thought, Plato and Aristotle. Let's begin with Plato. Let me talk first with Plato's life and background. Plato was born around 428 BCE into a wealthy and politically powerful family in Athens. Although he was given the birth name Aristocles, history remembers him as Plato, possibly a nickname that reflected his broad shoulders, or perhaps the breadth of his thinking. Plato's early life was steeped in music, mathematics, and the tumult of Athenian politics. But it was his encounter with Socrates, the man who challenged minds on the street corners of Athens, that changed everything. After witnessing the unjust execution of his mentor, Plato turned away from political ambition and instead founded the Academy, the first institution of higher learning in the Western world. Plato's philosophical vision was fueled by a desire to find truth in a world filled with deception. At the center of that vision lies his metaphysical dualism and idealism. Let us understand first Plato's two worlds. Plato's metaphysics divides reality into two realms, the world of matter and the world of forms. This makes him both a dualist and an idealist. According to Plato, the world we see and touch, the physical world, is not the true reality. It is a world of change, decay, and imperfection. This is the world of becoming, where things are always shifting and evolving, but never fixed. Beyond this lies the world of forms, the world of being. This is the realm of unchanging eternal truths, the perfect forms or ideas of things like justice, beauty, or the good. These forms are not mere thoughts or concepts. For Plato, they are more real than anything we see around us. In short, the material world is a shadow. The real world is the intelligible one, the world accessible only to the mind. This is powerfully illustrated in his allegory of the cave, when Plato speaks of the world inside the cave. Let us turn for a while to Plato's allegory of the cave. Imagine prisoners chained in a cave, facing a wall. Behind them, firelight casts shadows of passing objects. The prisoners mistake these shadows for reality because it's all they've ever seen. But one prisoner breaks free. He stumbles into the light of the outside world and sees the truth, the real sun, the real objects, not just their shadows. This allegory mirrors our human condition. Most people live in the cave, deceived by appearances. The philosopher escapes, ascending into the realm of forms. The sun in the story represents the form of the good, the highest of all forms, which illuminates everything else. Let us look at Plato's philosophical roots from the pre-Socratics, the ideas of Heraclitus and Parmenides. Plato's thinking responds to earlier Greek philosophers. Heraclitus said, "Everything flows, nothing stays the same." Parmenides, by contrast, argued that change is an illusion, and only being is real. Plato united these views. He agreed with Heraclitus that the world of matter is ever changing, but also accepted Parmenides' insight that reality must be stable and eternal. His solution? The two-world theory. Change exists in the world of matter, but truth resides in the world of forms. But not everyone agreed. Enter Aristotle, Plato's most brilliant student and greatest critic. Let me give you a little background on the life of Aristotle. Aristotle was born in 384 BCE in Stagira, Macedonia. He was influenced by his father physician Nicomachus, giving him early exposure to the Macedonian royal court and an interest in biology and natural science. At the age 17, Aristotle moved to Athens to study at Plato's academy, where he remained for nearly 20 years. He became one of Plato's most prominent students, though he would later depart from many of Plato's teachings. In 343 BCE, he became a tutor to Alexander the Great and later on returned to Athens and founded the Lyceum, his peripatetic school, where he taught, wrote, and conducted research. His approach emphasized empirical observation, logic, and systematic inquiry. Let me bring you to Aristotle's metaphysics, focusing on substance and change. Aristotle respected Plato, but he challenged the very foundation of Plato's metaphysics. First, he criticized the theory of forms for creating more problems than it solves. If forms exist in a separate world, how do they relate to the physical things we encounter? How do we explain change, growth, and motion in the real world? Plato's realm of forms, Aristotle argued, fails to account for change because it only offers eternal permanence, not process or becoming. Instead, Aristotle proposed a different metaphysical framework. For him, reality is not divided into two worlds. There is only one world, and reality is found in individual substances. A substance, in Aristotle's view, is something that exists independently. It is made of matter, what it is physically composed of, and form, what gives it its identity. Form is not a separate, transcendent reality. It is the essential nature found within each thing. This union of matter and form is what makes a thing what it is. Aristotle is fond of change and how each substance undergoes process using the four causes. Unlike Plato, Aristotle saw change as an essential part of being, not a sign of illusion, but of life. To understand change, he developed the idea of the four causes. First, the material cause, what something is made of, the composition of a substance. Second, the formal cause, its structure or essence, the form, the design of the substance. Third, the efficient cause, the source of its change or movement, the maker of the substance. And fourth, the final cause, its purpose, or what it is meant to be, the ultimate end of the substance. Consider a clay statue. The clay is its material cause. Its shape is its formal cause. The sculptor is its efficient cause. And its purpose, to honor a hero, is its final cause. This holistic explanation ties every being to a process of becoming. Change, growth, decay, these are not flaws. They are essential features of reality. What then is substance and reality for Aristotle? Aristotle's concept of substance replaces Plato's world of forms. He sees essence not in a distant realm, but embedded in the real, living world. Substances are temporal and changing, but they each have a unique identity. And by studying them through observation and reason, we can come to understand the nature of reality. Where Plato sees the material world as a copy, Aristotle sees it as the source of truth. Let me conclude this section with the two visions of reality as our takeaways. In the end, Plato and Aristotle offer us two visions of what is really real. Plato, reality is beyond the physical, found in a realm of eternal forms. The material world is just a fading imitation. Aristotle, Reality is found here and now, in individual substances that unite matter and form, undergoing change and fulfilling their purposes. Both philosophers changed the course of human thought. One looked upward to a higher world, the other deeply into the nature of this one. Their conversation, across time and logic, continues to shape how we seek truth, define reality, and understand our place in the cosmos. Thank you for learning this far, and please continue to learn with our next session. We'll continue asking another big question: how is knowing possible?